to be
She's the
chased.
usual target.
I know. It's always pick on Megan. It's like we have met.
Oh, I start on the SoundCloud, bro. I know she's talking, but you know.
Go on.
Do me a double clap, Russ. I didn't mean that. All right. Anyway, so I'm Lost in the Sauce, and it's my show. Hey, we're back. This is Community Podcast with Chase Johnson Lynch, and I'm excited. For the first time I've been doing this show, I've been talking to fascinating people here in Liverpool that I come across, and I give them some time and space to share who they are, what they're all about, as my man Don, the cameraman, does a limbo under the lights. But today, in the studio, we have two, not one, but two self-professed American idiots. I like to welcome AJ and Megan to the show.
Hi.
What up?
What up?
Yeah.
Let's let people know I wasn't trying to offend you. You call yourselves American Idiots Abroad.
That's
the truth.
fully our brand. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you have a podcast that is on all the social media platforms out there that I haven't never heard of because I'm old. But but it's a successful podcast because it's got a huge reach. It's international and everything. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But first, I just want to ask Megan and AJ to tell us a little bit about themselves for our audience. Let them know who you are, where you're from. Don't go into your past yet, but just who you are, where you're from now.
Okay, well, I'm AJ. I just graduated from uni here in Liverpool, so I've been here for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
That does not sound Boston. I mean, you do.
I can do a Boston accent.
I mean, Ben Affleck does a little bit better, but hey, you lost it a little bit.
I lost it so much when I came here, but I never really had the Boston accent. I had my mom's accent, which is like upstate New York.
Oh yeah. I'm from Pleasantville. That's all good.
Yeah.
You're from upstate New York.
Well, I went to school at Pace University, Pleasantville, Briarcliff.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
And I was on the debate team, so I debated all up and down the Northeast with those Bostonians. Harvard, Swarthmore. I've been all over the place. Yeah, Harvard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy for me to talk to actual Americans on this show because I've been doing this for a while and I haven't actually been able to relate. But
all the
nice,
American references just go over people's heads.
All the time, bro. All the time. What you say?
See, I have a glass that someone got me for Christmas, and it was like Boston. Boston pub glass, great for sodas, beers, and hard liquor. And I was like,
And it was written in that accent.
Yeah,
it
was
really?
written in the accent. And I was like, this is perfect.
Oh man. So Boston boy came here to go to school, and why'd you stay?
Because I love it here. England's great. Yeah,
I
England
agree,
just
bruv.
in general is just.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
I love that. I agree, bruv, about the UK. I agree, bruv.
Yeah. Well, you asked me how good is my Scouts, and I got to tell you, only you would probably pick up on it. I mean, the Scouts is like.
Yeah, I know.
You're just an American guy. So, Megan, tell us a bit about you.
Hello, my name is Megan. I am from San Jose, California.
San Jose.
Do you know the way to San Jose? The one
I
song.
don't.
Is this
No. It's the
It
one
is.
song that we have about San Jose.
It is true.
And
we have like 4 songs about Boston.
I've been here.
bad.
I first came here in 2014 for my undergraduate in music, and then now I'm a master's student at the Uni of. And yeah, I'm an artist called Sola.
And Sola is for So LA, isn't it?
No, it's not actually.
Oh my God, that's what I thought it was.
No,
it's her last name.
it's half of my last name. So
Man,
I know.
I thought it was so
you
cool.
thought you were being so clever.
I thought
That's
you
so
were being
funny.
cool. So LA.
No, I am not at all from LA. In fact, I resent you a little bit for saying that.
Okay. Don't resent me.
No, I'm joking. It's half my last name, so it just felt like it made sense. You know? I used to be called Sola by some of my friends. I went to uni for 2 years in Southern California, funny enough, and they used to be like, Sola, hi Sola. Like, yeah, I know.
Sounds like Mean Girls to me. But what is the long version of Sola then?
Like my whole last name?
Yeah.
Solaginto.
Solaginto.
So it's a hyphenated situation.
You mean like a double barrel? That's what they call it
exactly.
here, girl.
It's
See,
a
look
double
at that.
barrel.
I'm trying to help you American idiots.
It's a double barrel.
So
I didn't know if you knew that.
No, come on. My name is Johnston Lynch.
Yes, you
So
have
it's
a double barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I like that term, you know, because
Yeah,
I know
like
your
it too.
show is about terms, terminologies, and I love the term of the double barrel. It's like, wow, you know.
Very visual.
Yeah.
I like the
So
thing as well.
Sola Gente, you say?
Gunto.
Yeah.
Ginto.
If you thought
They
she was
couldn't even
Spanish before,
Yeah, I know.
her last name is Sola Ginto.
But it's not
Yeah.
at
and
all.
neither are Spanish.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Sola is Norwegian. Ginto is Filipino.
Wow.
And then together sounds
They
Spanish.
make Megan.
You know, we spent some time doing the show notes and talking about, you know, where these young people are from and everything. And they have very eclectic backgrounds to call themselves Americans. Because where they're from is not from American. Well, the Native American, I guess.
Yeah.
Then, you know, that's the original man. You know what I'm
Hello.
saying?
Yeah, my whole family immigrated to the U.S. like very recently. I'm a first generation American on my dad's side, so he immigrated in, and second on my mom's.
Well, you know, like before we get back to the podcast, and let's talk about that thing, like what you were saying about, you know, well, I don't want to get political, but I'll get a little bit.
Let's do it.
No,
Let's get right into it.
You know, when I asked you, like, why'd you stay, right, and everything else like that, because I stayed. I've been here like 18 years. I'm not planning on really going back. But like the deal is that I've come to like realize. So let me ask you. You're younger than me. Are you aware of the whole communist Red Scare of the 50s?
Yeah.
You know, Invasion of Body Snatchers, best movie ever. Guilty by Suspicion with Robert De Niro. You aware of that? So with those people who most of them were artists, you know, they were kind of like meeting in secret because they had European friends, and you know they were realizing that wait a minute, your system is like that. You know, like you have free healthcare. Wait a minute, you know, you take care of your people like that. And in America, we had this rise of capitalism. So what the people above had to do was like go, communism is bad. And so it's like we grow up as young. I'm older than you, of course. We grow up thinking, nah, I'm never going over there. You know, they have a bad system. They don't do things right and everything. So when you actually live here, though, you're like, oh my God, I got more money in my pocket. You know, and then like even though there are a rise in homelessness now, it's not as bad as in America.
No, it's been you're definitely right. It's been like totally villainized in the minds of many people, and I think it's starting to become that way here as well. It's unfortunate because I don't have health insurance now when I'm in the U.S. Because my mom is retired and I'm not on her plan anymore. So
I like the head shape. Sure you're not from the
this
hood?
is me saying. Honestly, like it comes out, and I don't know where it comes from. Like when I get mad, I'm a big clapper. I'm a big like syllable clapper.
Yeah,
and,
she's a big syllable clapper.
What the hell is a syllable clapper?
When you're like
no,
oh,
no,
okay,
okay.
Don't know girls like that at all.
Don't lie.
All right.
You 100% do.
Go back to what you were saying.
Anyway, I do think that things have been, like I was saying, villainized in a way where a lot of people are now like kind of against, or not against, but there's a rising population that are more interested in private healthcare here. And
I thought you were going to say in syllable clapping.
In syllable clapping as well.
I mean,
there's an elevated population.
I mean, we've all seen the Michael Moore movies, so you know it's kind of like it's slowly the Americans are waking up.
Yeah.
You know, to that system. I mean, that's why they villainized Obama. We won't go there.
100%.
But like the whole thing.
But I was in Norway for a family reunion last summer, and my little cousin Norman was playing in the backyard of one of our cousins' sheds, and he dropped an axe on his toe, right? As you do in Norway.
As you do in Norway.
It sounds very Norwegian. It's a very Norwegian injury. And
yeah.
And he didn't chop off his toe, but he got a deep cut. went over to the hospital, was seen pretty much immediately, and then got it all stitched up, had like a pain injection or something, lots of different things, and then only had to pay, I think it was like $7 for just the supplies. You don't pay for the time, just the supplies. And he was in and out, and then we continued on with the rest of our reunion. Like nothing had happened. And that would never have happened in the U.S. You would have been charged for the ambulance ride. You would have been charged for everything that they could possibly imagine. Now, service fee for breathing.
The reason why I kind of went down the road, because what you were telling me was your show. You know, you cover a bit about this. You speak a lot about the differences in the language and the cultures and stuff like that. But also, it's kind of your viewpoint of the world that you're living in now and everything. But you also profess to be, into politics and stuff like that. So that's why I went down that road. Because have you ever looked at that? On your show, have you ever looked at the Sicko or Fahrenheit 9/11? The Michael Moore films?
Yeah, I've seen them. But we've not
have
mentioned
you ever looked at it as a subject? Because it probably would be interesting, because I got to tell you, I saw it in the theater, Fahrenheit 9/11, and then I saw Sicko on DVD and all that kind of stuff. Sicko was like crazy, because he went and looked at healthcare systems all over the European countries.
That made me want to come to Europe.
Well, did it?
Partially. I was always an Anglophile, and I was always very much interested in coming over here. But watching Sicko, I was very, very interested in especially when he was in France or something, and it was the easiest process. And I remember I think my dad was unwell at the time, and just thinking life would be simpler for everyone
if this was how it was.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember the one with the veterans, the military veterans that he had to take over to Guantanamo Bay, over to Cuba. And everything, because they weren't receiving health care they should have been receiving as veterans.
I saw so
and
many
that's where they say, okay, the doctor, examined, I think it was a woman, and then said, well, here's some pills. It's like $9 or whatever, something like that. And she cried, and she couldn't believe that she received this, some pills for so low of a price.
There's
it's just I'm sorry, but it's just one of those things. I don't want to go into, but I think your show is fascinating in the fact that it looks at those differences, but maybe that's something to think about.
Oh yeah, Fahrenheit 11/9 as well. We should get into that. You remember
the sequel.
That one?
Oh, the sequel, not the original one.
Yeah.
The original one was 9/11.
9/11, and then now it's 11/9, because that's the day after the presidential election, which was when we met.
That's right. We were talking about the origin story. The origin story. How did you guys meet?
Yeah.
Great
queen
segues.
Okay. We met the day after the 2016 election because we were drinking in the bar of our uni. We were going to uni together at the time.
Yeah.
And
I think all the Americans just found each other in the bar.
It was all the Americans. Yeah. I remember walking in that morning, and I had a class 9 a.m.
Yeah, same.
And all I got all day was, I'm so sorry.
I was in a class
and people would just come up to me and be like, here's a hug.
Yeah, I hugged random people that I'd never met, but I just heard their accent, and I was like, no.
People knew me well enough to know that would be an upsetting day for me.
We walked in, I had a class of 5 people or something, and 3 of us were Americans, and we walked in and we were like, we're not doing class today, we're just gonna complain, and our tutor was like, 100%. Let's sink our teeth into this shit because something has gone on.
I wish. I wish that was my experience. Yeah. But I found you that night in the bar with all the other Americans, and we were just drinking because we were sad.
And then we just hit it off, and the rest is history.
Drink, but
the only reason to drink on that day, though.
So then, how did podcasting come into shape between the two of you? Because you said something about you just had these long conversations with one another.
Yeah, so about 2 years later, almost exactly 2 years later, it was Thanksgiving, and we had gone to this place that was giving free burgers to Americans if you could show your passport.
How good's that?
What place is that?
Shout out Brewdog Liverpool.
Yeah, shout out Brewdog Liverpool.
Oh yeah, I know Brewdog.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So we both decided to go because of that, and we didn't have any other Americans join us, and so I just had my laptop. Yeah. And I think that we had already been talking about like, wouldn't it be so cool to have our own podcast? But then I think because we were actually sitting there, we were like, actually, let's just bang it out. Let's just make it a meeting. And then Megan initially wanted to make it about music and politics because we're both musicians. I'm like a pop rock artist. She's like a dark R&B
I'm gonna get
artist.
to that. Yeah.
And
that's what I'm doing my dissertation on as well, as music and politics. So.
Oh right, okay.
So she wanted to make her. She wanted to make the podcast about that, and then I said, well, what can we speak on? What's our unique selling point? What's something that's the same between both of us? And it's like politics, music, but also that we're American in the UK. Yeah. So, and that's something we talk about a lot because, she graduated 2 years before I did, but we stayed in touch just through random phone calls in which we would complain about something in the news, and then it would
turn in 4 hours.
Yeah, for like 4 hours and then we were like, we need to have a podcast. So
because we can just talk and talk and talk and talk. I don't know if you can tell.
So it's thematic. So like every episode, one's about accents, one's about alcohol, one's about TV and stuff. So, or we haven't done that one yet.
Fashion.
You have it? I love TV. Yeah, I'm just saying. So in doing this, you said that like you guys could talk, but you were like, you actually be like 2 hours in and realize, okay, that's that's not. So who's the editor?
Oh, I'm the editor. So
he's definitely the editor.
We record for about 2 hours, and then we cut it down to like 21 minutes, so you only get the good bits.
Yeah, you said like a Family Guy episode.
Yeah, it's nice because I can. It's the length of a Family Guy episode. Yeah. It's nice because I can crack as many like terrible jokes as I want. If they land, they land. But if they don't, I'm the one cutting them out.
Exactly.
So it's perfect. And I was just doing all of that last night. So we came out with one about the British misconceptions of America, and that was our episode that came out today.
A British misconception of America.
Yeah, so we interviewed
because they only watch us on television.
Exactly, they're very funny, as you know, I'm sure. Ideas of what it's like to be an American. Yeah. Like I get asked all the time, like especially by young Brits, like as soon as they find out that I'm from California, they're like, "So do you have a pool?" And I'm like, why is this your first question?
Do you?
So go in your backyard.
So who do you know that's famous? Is usually one that I get, or
do you live next door to a celebrity?
Yeah, they live right down the block.
Yeah, you're from California.
Hey, do you know Bobby? We all know Bobby. No, you didn't get that one?
Bobby?
Yeah. We all know Bobby.
Shout out Bobby.
Yeah, shout out to Bobby.
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, yeah. But no, I mean, I think this is really interesting because, like, this is a new realm of streaming.
Yeah.
And like, not to say that you're inexperienced in it, but, it wasn't that difficult to take on board, was it, to put the podcast together? But what I like about what you had told me, AJ, is about how you've investigated, the social media platforms, the time that you put the show on and everything, and you also following your analytics and your reach market and stuff.
So I'm all about those stats, bro.
So for those out here, just tell us, like, when does your show come on and why does it do that?
So every Wednesday, we have the show come out at 2 a.m. Eastern time for the U.S., So New York, Boston. Here it would be 7 a.m. And we kind of do that just because that's when people will get up for work, and we're a nice commute podcast.
We call it morning drive.
Yeah, a nice morning drive. Or if you don't get around to it that day, it's a nice drive back from your work. I can't.
Which a lot of people do though, because. Like time zone wise, it depends on like when it's come out. So obviously in Asia, where we have reach but only like a bit, like it's more people leaving work. Or like we've tried it in Russia.
Yeah, no big deal. The Russians love us.
The Russians love those American idiots. Yeah.
It's just the troll farms that are
They're
listening.
like, that's what I've been saying this whole time.
I knew they were idiots. I do it all the time.
But
Exactly.
Kind of like Russian German. I don't know.
I know. I was like, whatever accent that is.
It was something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't your
It
normal
was
speaking.
something.
It wasn't Russian.
It
It
was
wasn't Russian.
something.
I'll give it to you. It wasn't your normal speaking voice. That's all I'll say about
That's
that.
true. It was an attempt. It was an attempt at Russia.
I still need to hear your attempt at a scouse.
You
Ooh,
won't.
we'll get there.
It might come out, mate.
That wasn't bad.
Oh, was it? Oh,
I need to hear.
But I bet you my scout boy would say, nah, look at him shaking his head.
Yeah, no, not impressed.
He's like, stop doing it, and stuff. So let's talk about your music career, because what I find interesting between the two of you is that AJ started out really young in his music career, while Megan, you're just starting out. So let's go to you, AJ, first, because I heard it right. Your band was in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes.
I think that's a lie.
Is.
So and my man on a laptop said it's true.
We got our resident fact checker.
Yeah, the resident fact checker on the account said, yes, I just seen it. So go ahead.
My favorite thing is if you Google youngest band, just youngest band, my name will pop up.
So the band is called
Black Diamonds.
Right, and to be considered the youngest band is because they are a rock band, not like a boy band.
Well,
so we gotta separate that.
Yeah, it was the youngest professional rock band is the official title of the record.
Yeah.
We technically set it in 2010 when we released our first EP, but that's when Guinness counts the record, but we actually started almost a whole year before.
But what were the age of the members to be considered the youngest band?
So I think the record says the collective age is 11 or something.
Oh.
But when we first started, the collective age was 9 or 10.
They had have a guitarist that was 7, but fucking shred.
Oh, bassist, yeah.
Shreds.
His name's Wolfgang.
Wolfgang!
Yeah. Shout out Wolfgang Berger.
Shout out Wolfgang Berger because
Berger.
Yeah.
Because you said he shreds, so that means what is he like?
He's the best one.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch School of Rock or something?
Yes. We actually, as the band, as we got older, so we were part of a studio, and then we were kind of the longest running band within the studio at one point. And so we had a rock camp where all 4 of us would be tutors for the new generations of Black Diamonds, essentially. Yeah. And we used to watch School of Rock as the warm up for the rock camp. So we call it rock camp, but then people get it mixed with camp rock. It's not
because it's just that you wouldn't really see a young band on the road kind of thing. Did you guys tour and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. We toured all throughout Canada. We opened up for Paramore and Fall Out Boy at one point, and New Politics.
Name dropper.
Name drop. And then our first international show was in Berlin, Germany, when I think the band was only 5 months old. So it really took off.
How long did it last then?
The band... we still play shows together whenever I go home. But
really?
So
we're still even
together.
At your old age now, the Black Diamonds still get together.
Yeah. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in February.
Nice.
But yeah, we played our most recent show last time I was in the U.S., which was January.
For some perspective, 10-year anniversary, and he's only 21.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
This is my 11th year in the music industry.
She's so old.
And I'm 21.
He's so out the pasture.
Yeah, I feel so old and so young at the same time.
What's that guy again? Lou Pearlman?
Yeah. Lou Pearlman.
He's so out the pasture, him, and everything. Did you have any music videos or any tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that because I don't. I love the music video.
I'm going to ask our audience to look for it, so give us a song.
It's called Almost Famous.
Almost Famous.
The music video you should look up. It's our first ever song. I wrote that song.
It
was the first song I ever wrote.
Now, I asked our audience and yours to, write to AJ, go, he's so cute. He's so cute.
We're adorable in that video. It is.
Are you really?
Yeah, no, it is. It is our first year. I think it's our first
They're literal children.
Yeah.
So
we're little babies, and it's so weird watching it because I'm I remember these times, I remember just playing shows like every weekend, and it was weird because I had kind of a Hannah Montana phase where I didn't tell anyone about it in middle school or high school. I think everyone kind of knew, but I never talked about it. Yeah. And now I'm like older and I look back and I'm like, why didn't I ever mention that I was like even a musician, you know?
Well, because I mean, like, you know, we're in the Disney era now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're really just past it. So it's kind of like you got a lot of like the Disney had a machine where, you know, all of their stars went on to become bands or, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And they had the tours, you know, because you got Florida and Viacom out there and everything like that. You know, Zac Efron, that's where he comes from. But, you know, it's kind of like he wants to ditch that too. You know, like when you put out that early.
Yeah. But it was even when I was in it,
a different thing. You're not really like in the zone which we're gonna move to when we get to Sola, because you're in that teeny bopper band phase. It's really cute. Yeah. That's great, but they don't consider it like a real marketplace. It probably is to you, but you know what I mean?
I mean, it was crazy because it was weird because we had young fans. We kind of started in that kind of teeny bopper kind of.
Yeah. Well, do you remember ABC?
What?
Do you remember ABC?
ABC?
Yeah.
Like Jackson 5?
Yeah.
No, the group.
No, I don't.
Nobody else does either. Chris Cross. Chris Cross.
I'm just trying to say, I'm an idiot.
So yeah, exactly.
American
I'm just trying
to.
I quite literally have
just
a song.
letting you know, man. You know,
gotta get the plug
they
in.
don't last. They don't have shelf life.
One of my newest songs actually is called "I'm the Worst," so I'm very self.
Why are you still singing then?
Oh yeah. So I have music out now under just my name, AJ Marks.
And I'm the Worst.
Yeah.
Is that you have a video?
I have a video for my song after that, which is called "The Switch." So I just released that one in June.
So is that on YouTube and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. That's
all right. So The Switch, AJ Marks.
Yeah, and then the video.
AJ, stop taking time from Sola.
It's Megan's turn.
It's Megan's time.
Hi.
So, Megan Sola, you know, you have just released your first single, I believe. Closer.
Yes, I have.
So tell us about that, because, you know, Paul McCartney loves you. Somebody
yes, he
has
does. At least it's Paul. No, I had some songs that I put out on like SoundCloud and stuff before, and one of them is the song, one of the songs. The song that I worked with Paul McCartney. But this is my... I know, name dropping. If AJ can do it, I can do it. But this song is my first like release as Sola. I've like just rebranded under this name and concept and stuff. So yeah, find it on Spotify and YouTube and all that. It's called Closure. And it's basically like...
Is there a video?
There is not a video, but there's a lyric video in Spanish.
Yeah.
If you'd like to...
There's a lyric video that says all the lyrics in Spanish, which is so cool.
I didn't make it, but it was dope. Like, someone found it.
Fact checkers like, what?
Someone found it. Someone liked my song and uploaded it to their YouTube channel and translated it into Spanish. And which also doesn't help with people thinking
I just want to see her sing.
Yeah.
She's really good.
So I have a series of singles coming out after that as well.
So are you working on the album?
Yeah, so it's a EP, but it's going to be a series of singles and then repackaged as an EP.
But you said you're going into the studio with someone famous, or?
I mean, I have a couple things coming up. Like, I won a War Child songwriting competition last year.
War Child, yeah?
Yeah, that was really cool. So through that, I've met a lot of musicians. One of them is now my collaborator, and he's the former musical director of Earth, Wind and Fire. He's toured with everyone. Like right now, he's musical director of Bette Midler. But he was on...
I think she had a new song out.
Did she? I don't know.
I think she got it. Yeah, I think she...
But he does...
Beth's old, but she's got it.
Oh, she's got it. She's still got it. But he was on This Is It. Like, so he played with Michael. He played with MJ.
Oh, yeah.
He played with Stevie Wonder, Shaka Khan, like literally everyone.
Shaka Khan.
So I see him tomorrow.
Shaka Khan.
And then I'm also going into Richard Branson.
No, I know Shaka Khan.
All right.
Oh, I love Shaka Khan.
And then I'm going into Richard Branson's family studio later this year.
Is it taking you into space?
Yeah, he's gonna take hopefully.
Virgin Studio.
Exactly. I know. It's so random. I didn't know that he had a studio inside of his home in Oxford, or whatever. So get to go there and maybe shoot some rockets at the same time.
I don't know about that, but
yeah. So I'm just like ramping up kind of the beginnings of my career. So
well, you know what, because AJ stole all your time. That brings us down like to the end, But like, what you call a little bit over just to promote the fact that it's been great talking to you guys. It's been great, relating to fellow Americans, hearing a little bit about yourselves, and giving your audience actually a way of, one, seeing you, and also finding out a little bit more about you outside of the program that you actually produce for them every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff. Once again, where could they find you?
So you can find American Idiots Abroad on any of your favorite podcast platforms.
None of my favorites. So
that includes Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. You can find me at I am Sola, Sola Music.
And that does not mean I am so LA.
No, I am Sola Music. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Spotify, all the good stuff, Apple Music. And go stream my song Closure. Let me know what you think. There's another one coming out very soon that I'm really excited about that I'm doing with this Parisian producer.
It's my favorite song.
I think you do have a video where you performed it in a club, didn't you, like a couple of weeks ago?
Maybe, unless someone filmed me, I didn't know.
Okay.
But I have a gig coming up this weekend, actually. I don't know when does this come out.
Who knows? Don't lock us at
well,
the
there are many gigs coming up.
Times.
There's some gigs coming up in September and everything.
There we go.
So
that's how you do it.
Go online.
AJ, how do we find
Slide into my DMs.
You can find me at AJ Marks Official on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, anything.
AJ Marks Official. I like that because I'm the official AJ Marks. That kid that was singing in that band one time. It was looking at my hair. Can't you tell? Yeah. You're so old at 21. Aren't you? You're so old, man.
He's an old 21.
You're so out the pasture, man. Look at him. He's like still living off of his glory days.
Oh, wow. All right. That's how it's going to be, Chase. That's how it's going to be.
I'm sorry, man, but your life is over.
Oh, Chase is coming with some.
Well, you're going to be on our podcast.
Well, I'm just saying.
So
you know what?
Be careful.
Be careful what you say.
I'm older than dirt, but I'm just trying to think.
Older than dirt.
I'm just saying. I don't know how to end this, but I'm just saying, man. I gotta go. It's been great talking to you guys, man. It's really
always
been
a
a lot of
pleasure.
fun. And I would like to say, they did some secret TV project I can't talk about. Now they're gonna cut the lights off, cut the cameras.